Thanks, Diesel Man. I appreciate it. What's up? Is he ready to go to sleep, or is he still being a monster? Back to the scientist with our goods. Traveler, I've prepared your blueprints, but something has happened. The Korvax seems changed from the happy soul they were on my departure. They are fighting their worry, trying to stay focused on their promise to me. Anxious to see the rest of the materials. Here's the cobalt. My people have abandoned me as of 142.32 seconds ago. I lost the hearing the sight of the Korvax convergence. Hey, Frodo, come here. Yeah, mommy put you in here and you're not ready to sleep. If you jump on that desk, I'm gonna have to come get you. What you doing, buddy? No. Okay, I've now learned how to make microprocessors, which was a huge deal because I wanted to make them the other day and we couldn't, so I had to go buy them. And large refiners, an automated refinery unit. How does that work? Go to this transmission tower, enter my soul, discover what is wrong, help Korvax's solitude, please. Claims that they've been disconnected from the Korvax hive mind. Take their personality core to transmission tower for analysis. Oh, did he just shut down? Are they robots? Apparently so.
Navigational data received.
Well, before I do anything, base salvage capsule preserves matter left over after the destruction of a previous base. All right, that's interesting. Where was the portable storage container, large refiner? A vital piece of planetary equipment, the refiner allows gathered substances to be processed into more powerful and more advanced materials. The large refiner allows 3 different substances to be combined into one new material, or materials to be processed at better ratios. The large refiner must be installed in a habitable base, but does not require additional power sources. Huh. That's cool. Alright, see you, Carol. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Biggie D says, have I changed race at all? Nope. No desire to. At least not yet. I'm still early in the game. Velenar says they're robots with a hive mind, kind of like the Borg, or what the Borg aspire to be. Thanks for the follow, Dave. Something Master over on Twitch. All right. Connect the transmission tower to perform the operation. Is that on this planet? That looks like it's on this planet. Okay. Do I see anything around here that might be... Oop, too high. I wonder if this is going to be it over here. Because there's a landing pad over here. At the very least, I'll save on some fuel if I go land over here. Yep, it's totally got to be this place right here. I bet it's that tower right there. Ah, it's the right. Vicky says, I'm hoping for a few hours tonight. There's so much to learn for this game. Oh, yeah, I initially thought I might, get a few days, like maybe a week out of it, and now I'm looking at this going, I'm definitely going to get a few weeks out of this. I'm still chuckling about the people who get offended over the fact that I'm making money off of this and I'm focused on this right now. It's like, do you not understand how streaming works? Like, do you not understand content creation and streaming? Oh no, he's choosing to focus on this. He said he wasn't good. He said he was only going to do a few videos. Terminal online. Prepare to insert the Korvax intelligence core into the transmission tower. The judgment of the core convergence awaits. Connection established. Error. It's corrupted by traveler interaction. Uh-oh, I tainted it with my touch. Anomaly. Quarantine the surveillance unit from convergence. Observe, analyze, silence. Atlas, universal foci, countermeasure in progress, risk assessment, entropic, galactic destruction, rebirth, error, Atlas, error, error. They see you. Oh no, that wasn't good. So my scientists needs to be told about what just went down. Yeah, I'll probably be able to get, I mean, honestly, kind of just depends. Ooh, sector chart. Save and chart. Unknown. Like I've been telling people the last few days, this is definitely going to be the thing I do in between all the other things I do leading up to August 22nd. So I've at least got until August 22nd. What's the date today? The 29th something? 28th. We've got like another month. Easily. Assuming, and I tell people this every day, as long as people keep tuning in and showing up and watching the videos, I'll keep playing this and streaming this is like the main thing for the next few weeks. We've got, the 22nd, which is a little over 4 weeks away. So we've got a month. I'm going to be continuing to prep for Star Wars Outlaws, cover news around Dragon Age, the Veil Guard, all the other things I'm going to be playing. Avowed. Oh, Rings of Power Season 2 is coming up at the end of August. Chris and I are going to do a rewatch of that this month, of Season 1, and then I'll start reviewing those episodes. I still got to do my review for Horizon, the first new movie by Kevin Costner. And then also we watched Bad Boys for Life, the most recent Bad Boys movie. It was not good. I got to review that for the channel as well. I got to do my review of Dune Messiah. What else is on my list? I got a video on prepping for the Starfield DLC. I've got a video on prepping for the Rogue Trader DLC. We're going to check in on a new Shrouded. Now that I have a new PC, I'm going to go take a look at that, see what it looks like on the new PC. And I've got a list of guides that I'm going to start making for No Man's Sky starting next week. I usually try to get 15, 20 hours into games before I start making guides, and I've hit that, so we'll start making guides next week. And then tomorrow's Monday. We'll do a reaction stream tomorrow. So there's a whole bunch of new videos and stuff I want to cover. So tomorrow morning, for those of you who are tuning in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central, we'll be doing a live reaction stream tomorrow. We'll be doing some content filming, some other stuff, and then probably tomorrow night I might play some more. I'll probably play Red Dead Redemption 2 again tomorrow night. Richard Mason says I'm sitting at over 7,000 hours to date, but I'm retired, so plenty of time to kill. It's the way to roll, man. Someone just said, No Man's Sky is like having ADHD. You highlight a mission when you see something interesting. You forget what you were supposed to be doing in the first place. This person says they literally finished the storyline 7 years later because they kept getting sidetracked exploring and looking for paradise planets, building bases and stuff. That's awesome. I'm going to answer that. That's pretty cool, man. No Man's Sky is Distraction, the game. I don't know that I could get to 7,000 hours in Starfield yet. I'm sure that I could once they've added a lot more variety of stuff to do. I've played 2 playthroughs. I have about 500 hours, a little over 500 hours in Starfield. I love the game. I think it's a great game. I did not think it was a great game when it launched. I thought it was a good game when it launched. It became a great game. But there's still, like, land vehicles aren't in the game yet. Those are coming soon. It just needs a little bit more variety in the planets, and they just need more. But they were only a year into it. No Man's Sky has had 8 years. So when Starfield has 8 years, I'll be more than happy to take a look at Starfield 8 years down the road and make a direct comparison judgment call. But right now, I can't imagine logging 7,000 hours in Starfield. I don't think there's enough there to keep someone like me interested. I suppose if you're into the base building elements in that game, it's a lot easier to rack up. I have not spent a lot of time building bases in that game. I also have not spent a lot of time building bases in this game. Base building is typically not my favorite activity to do. I'm a story player. So 7,000 hours is respectable. That's you obviously love what you're doing. I watched last night on TikTok, I think it was. I watched a little documentary video about the guy who put like 10,000 hours into EVE Online over the course of 10 years. He went to all 7,000 plus stations or systems without ever losing his first ship. Never died, visited every single station, every single star system, in the game over the course of 10 years. He has a website with over 45,000 screenshots of every planet that he ever explored in that game. And he's in the Guinness Book of World Records um, because of his achievements in EVE Online. And I look at that kind of stuff and say, that's badass. Like, to have a game that you're willing to put 10,000 hours into and 45,000 screenshots over 10 years of time, that is that's impressive. Richard Mason says, didn't like the cutscenes in Starfield. Well, too bad. That's just the way they do things. I happen to like cutscenes. We were talking about this earlier. I've seen The Empire Strikes Back probably 300 times in the course of my lifetime, and not once have I ever gotten tired of watching the Millennium Falcon land and take off and do that flip when they're coming out of Cloud City and they hear Luke and Lando's got to turn the ship around, and it does that thing where it goes up and comes around and spins around, and you get the trail out of the engine and the sound of the engines as the Millennium Falcon roars across the screen. I will never, ever, ever get tired of that. Every time I play Star Wars The Old Republic, I could give two shits that there are loading screens to show me my ship landing and my ship taking off. Cutscenes, animation sequences. And then the loading screens having all my screenshots in Starfield. Are you kidding me? I take good screenshots. I was a photographer for many years before I started doing this for a living. So I take good screenshots. So for me, I like to look at my loading screens because I get lots of screenshots. But I get it. Some people are like, the immersion, the continuity, etc. That's fine. But it's always worth looking at things from a different angle. The perfect example I gave is this game right here. I tried this game 3 years ago, fucking hated it. I blew up my ship in the first 3 hours of gameplay, never went back. It wasn't until the World's Update 1 started, being shown off about a week ago that I got really interested in things and started playing it and said, oh wow, this thing's changed a lot in the last 3 years. Now I like it. So I would say Starfield possibly is like that as well. People just might need to mature a little bit more, grow a little bit more, learn what they like a little bit more, let the game age on them like a wine. You got to open it, let it breathe for a little bit. But some people are just going to be stuck in it and be like, fuck it, I can't handle loading screens. I don't want to see a cutscene. I want to control it. I get it. It's not for everybody. There's nothing wrong with that. Sorry, not ranting against you personally, Richard Mason, but it's a comment that I love reacting to because it just shows the differences in, I liked seeing all my screenshots. I think it was really unique because not every game allows me to take my screenshots and put them in as loading screens. Yeah, exactly, Valinar. I'm an old school RPG gamer. Loading screens have been there since the 80s. They're going to be there forever. Um, it is what it is. They're nothing to me. Different games do them different ways. Like, one of the things I like about Red Dead Redemption 2 is you often get like a journal entry, and so he will narrate. Arthur will narrate something from his diary as the scene is loading, and I really appreciate it in the most recent it's the IGN first video, which we reacted to a couple nights ago. It's the Star Wars Outlaws space flight video, right? And one of the developers was on there talking about, all these people have been out there in the wild saying that Star Wars Outlaws doesn't have loading screens. It's like, look, we're going to be able to land on planets, we could take off, and we could go through the atmosphere, and and it's going to be just like No Man's Sky. No, it's not. Go watch the reaction video. Go watch the documentary that Star Wars Outlaws put out. It is very much, he literally sits there and says, what we do is we take control of your ship when you start to take off or when you start to land. We take control of your ship, and we then reposition your ship from point A to point B. And while we are repositioning your ship, you disappear into the clouds. And so you view from the cockpit of your ship as though you are going through the clouds, either landing or taking off. And while you're in the clouds, we are unloading assets from over here, and we're loading assets from over here, and we're transitioning your ship from over here to over here. Once we've transitioned the ship to this new location over here. We then move you to the cutscene, which then shows you landing your ship or exiting into space. But that is absolutely 100% cutscenes and loading screens happening. But they've done it in such a way that it feels as though you are actually landing and taking off. So it doesn't feel like it's breaking the immersion. But make no mistake, it is still cutscenes and loading screens happening. They're just being done in a way that feels a lot different than the direct 2D screen that you get with Starfield. Because a lot of times in Starfield, not all the time, some of the, you have animations, takeoff animations, landing animations, but like going into a space station, you're very much hit with a 2D screen, and that's it. And then like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor, God of War, anytime you do that thing where you go shimmy through the rock crevice and you've got that little narrow crevice and your character turns to the side and shimmies through and you're stuck in that little dark crevice for 10, 15 seconds, it's unloading everything behind you and loading everything in front of you. 100% a loading screen. But you don't hear people complaining about the lack of immersion or the breaking of immersion with those types of landing sequences, landing scenes, cut scenes, transitions, but it's all the same thing. It's just how it's presented. And that's probably something, we talked about this last night as well. Bethesda does need to take note of that, and they're going to have to get better at that moving forward, because as much as I don't mind, because I like my screenshots, not every game gives you screenshots. Some games just give you, like, if you've ever played a Unity game, like any Unity game that's ever been produced is going to have tons of loading screens, because the way the engine works is it goes scene to scene. So there is no seamless transition. It is a scene-based game. So you're literally loading scenes every time you do something. So there has to be something on screen between those loads. Otherwise, that's one of the challenges of, like, as much as I love Owlcat games, if you've ever played Pathfinder 1 and 2, the Pathfinder Kingmaker or Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, or if you go play Rogue Trader, which launched in December, Rogue Trader was a lot of fun. So many loading screens. More loading screens than Starfield by far. But no one talked about it because that game is a top-down CRPG, and people expect to see loading screens in top-down CRPGs as opposed to Starfield, where people were very much like, wait a second, I just played Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk didn't have loading screens like this. No Man's Sky doesn't have loading screens like that. What's up with this, Bethesda? So Bethesda is going to have to be conscious of that moving forward if they want to remain competitive. They will have to consider doing different ways and different things to blend their loading sequences in. But it's not a wrong way to do it. It's just a different way to do it. Xamus says, saw your video on Throne and Liberty. Thought how you reviewed it was how I felt. Combat was different, but liked the build diversity. But the MMO felt like a filler game. Decent, but not the best. Yeah, for sure. It had some interesting aspects of it, but honestly, beyond whatever, if it gives me 15 hours of story, I don't see myself playing that game beyond the 15, 20 hours of storyline that it gives me. Because there's just not enough, I feel like it's sort of a husk built around a monetization shop. And that's fine as long as you understand it going into it. But I don't think that that's going to be something I would want to play for long periods of time. Oh, I got to wait an hour and a half for the scientist to reboot. That's 2 quests we have that have countdowns. Search an abandoned building for data. Is that what that blue icon is?
Alert. Navigational data received.
No, that's just this debris. Oh, hang Abandoned structure, it's over there. Let's go for a little flight. I'm starting to finally get used to the spaceflight controls, at least on the planets, and I'm starting to enjoy it. I still wish I could. Well, we're gonna take a look at something. That's the base, probably right over there. So let's go land. Is there no landing pad here? There's another cave. Doesn't look like there is. Welcome to the channel, Gribbly. How do we get inside of here? Find a terminal, it says. There's the entry point. Plaximus says Hello Games is the perfect example of actually listening to the community and promising to fix the game. A lot of gaming communities learn from them and how they fixed this game. Yeah, it's definitely admirable. I think there's also a conversation there to be had about, as long as it follows the core principles of the founding vision, Because a lot of the times, something attacked me from up top. Well, a lot of the times, if a game has a core vision and then they end up changing things too much based on feedback, that can get a little messy. I can say based on the games that I've launched, there have been times when it's great to hear feedback on certain features because it can help you refine those features down and make them better than they were on paper. But there's also times when you get a lot of feedback on something that there's a pushback from the community on, but it's a core development principle or a core mechanic that you want in the game for reasons. The player base might not understand those reasons because they're not looking 6 years down the road. They're looking here and now. And you're looking at something 5 years down the road going, this system is going to be the backbone of that system, which is going to be the backbone of that system, which is what we want to have here. And you don't need to explain that to the player base. And you're going to have a handful of people who are upset with you when you don't adjust the thing that they've provided feedback on. But that's just the nature of game development. They don't have the big picture. It's like if I'm the one who's written the outline to a new trilogy of novels, if someone comes in on chapter 33 and tries to say, well, I don't like what you did with this character, you need to change this, that, or the other, and I'm looking 3 books ahead going, yeah, but you don't know what that character is going to do in the 3rd book. So you don't have the clarity of vision to be able to make that statement. So as long as the feedback is related to the core principles, I think that's important. But a lot of times you get people who get upset because something's not changed right away. And then they make claims about how the developer's not listening or not paying attention. And it's like, oh, I guarantee you they're paying attention. They just didn't feel it was relevant enough to make that change at this point in time. And they have reasons for that. They might not explain those reasons to you. The place the overseer has led me has long since fallen into disrepair. Its panels are buried beneath the same oily, pulsating fauna that I've seen before in long-abandoned buildings. The air is fetid and damp. I power up the terminal with little hope of success, but to my surprise, it buzzes noisily and springs to life. So let's analyze these schematics. My Overseer's intuition has served me well so far. I'll have to trust that these schematics contain the required data. Get some more slime. Slime. Oops. There's some buried tech, like, right on top of us. Thank you very much. Don't attack the eggs, is what someone told me, so I'm gonna hold that. Blacksmith says, saw your post on Narnia books. What about the Choose Your Own Adventure books? You collect those? You enjoy those back in the day? I did not collect those back in the day. I have played some of them in my adult years. Liam from Liam's Lyceum, he runs a YouTube channel. He's in our Discord as Himbar. He's been around for the last 10 years as part of our community. And he's been building up his booktube channel for the past few years. He does a lot of choose your own adventure books and does them infrequently on his YouTube channel. But yeah, they're not a huge thing for me. Despite my love of tabletop and having done lots of tabletop stuff over the years, choose your own adventure has never been like one of my main jams. I need to get careful. One of these days I might actually overshoot my base by coming in a little too hot. Dave SNES Master says those egg things are worth loads of if you sell them. Just pick a few and stay away from the bugs. See, I gotta learn combat first because I'm too paranoid to do that without having some way to defend myself. And I know I can set up my. I know I can use my tool and set up a gun, bolt caster stuff. I haven't done that yet because I haven't been led to that through a tutorial yet. So I've been staying away from combat related stuff. I'll extract the storage blueprint as soon as I have the data. Here's your blueprint. So what's the difference? Containers received, 9 items learned. What does that mean? 9 items learned. So I could have 10 storage units total and they're just numbered like this. Storage unit 1, storage unit 2, storage unit 3. Each one has 50 slots, I'm assuming. That's a weird way to do it. Like, it's a weird way to organize it. So basically the one I already built, and that's why it's grayed out, is because that's number 0. Because I've already built that one. Okay. Which would be this one over here. Alright, new mission available. Go back to the Overseer. Okay. What you got for me? Things are growing well, but not long before violence follows, and it is inevitable. If I had some microperceptors, I could design a weapons. Here we go, everybody. This is what I've been waiting for. It's been, I don't even know what stream we're on. We're on stream 6 or 7. I'm finally going to learn how to make weapons. Finally. So we're finally actually going to learn how to defend ourselves. Because remember, two days ago, I tried to go to that planet that had aggressive sentinels, and I kept getting my ass kicked. Matter of fact, I think I have a mission in my journal. He needs microprocessors. Here, in my quest journal, I even still have the quest. Which one was it? It might have been the Under Rebel Star. I remember one of these I went and there was like things that were trying to kill me and I had to like defend myself against them. The Sentinels. All right. Construct a microprocessor. Only one? Hang on, I already have a couple.